Alright, we've been talking about the gradient class for a while now, and somewhat related to the gradient class. Actually, the gradient class is built on the keyframe class in Howler. Keyframes will let you animate things and smoothly interpolate between different values. So let's try to do something with that. I haven't practiced this or anything, so we're just going to jump in and try to do something. I'm going to start with the drawing class, and in the drawing class we have the ability to draw metafiles, which are vector files. They can be created with programs like Inkscape or OpenOffice or what have you. And I'll just run this program, and it draws this metafile here. Um, so what we did was we declared a new drawing object. We did the things that we normally do, like begin and end draw, and inside of that we added this call to load metafile. Actually, this could probably be outside, but in the begin and end draw in between there, we have this draw metafile call here. Now let's see if we can animate this by or at least move it around by a keyframe. So let's create a new keyframe object, I guess, and see what we can do with that. There's probably going to be some similarities between this and what we did with the gradient stop. Remember, we use a time factor um, in the gradient stop, and it's going to be very similar to that. And we created gradient stops, and in this case, we're going to be creating keys, but they're going to be very similar to gradient stops. So let's take a look at this. Add key. There's an array that it accepts, so you can do more than one keyframe or more than one value, and then you give it a time. So let's do a pair of x and y. So let's dim something. And this is an array of two values, 0 and 1. And in VB, it's not the number of uh, elements in the array, it's the actual upper dimension that you specify when you create this. So this will actually have two values in it. So let's see, we'll do this as single. Oops. As soon as I get my hands on the right keys, and let's see, let's take a look here what we can do. Key dot set key, let's see, add key rather, and my keys, that will be this V thing, and time, this will be 0. Alright. So we want to set maybe 2 or 3 different keyframes. So let's do something with this. Make this V1, and we'll make a couple more of these. Could have made like an array or a collection of arrays or something, but we're only going to do like 3, so let's just do this. So let's set some values in here. V1 dot, let's see, V1 0 equals 100, V1 1 equals 100. That'll be the first keyframe. V2 0 equals 200. That's X. V2 1 equals 120. And finally, V3 0 equals, say, 300. And V3 1 equals 190. Whatever. So we'll add a key for this at time 0. Whoops. Copy that. And we'll create 2 more keys with this and this. And we'll give it a time. Let's say 100 and... No, that's too much. Let's do 50 and 100. 100. Okay. Now that we've done this, just like when we did the gradient and we created that lookup table, we're going to do k dot create curve, and this will create a curve out of all of these parameters we've given it. So we should now be able to read that. So let's, inside of this begin draw, end draw combination, let's do a loop for n equals 0 to 100. I'm not sure I should do 199. I'm not sure. Anyways, let's try this out. And in that next n, let's see, and we want an x and a y parameter here. This is the width and height. We don't want it to be quite that big. Let's make it 200 instead of 400. All right. So let's declare x and y somewhere. And let's see, what can we do here? We want to define what x and y is. So k dot, there should be a way of evaluating this. Let's see. I believe it's like read curve. And we want the time, which will be n. Whoops. N. And the channel, which will be 1, 2, or 3, I guess, or 0, 1, and 0, 1, and 2, maybe. Let's see what happens. Let's see. No, 0 and 1, I guess it would be. All right, yes. So 0. And this is a function, so we have to enclose this in these things. And so we'll do x equals, and then we'll do the same thing for the second channel as y equals. All right, so y equals, and we're reading from that curve. We're reading from the first channel for x and the second channel for y. Remember up here we created arrays with two parameters, 0 through 1, and then we're reading them down here, 0 and 1. All right, so we're reading x, we're reading y, and we're going to pass x and y into this draw meta file, and we're going to loop through this 100 times. Let's see what happens. Let me clear the screen here. And draw. Well, let's just try it out. All right, not optional. Create curve. I think we have to give it a max time. Yeah. What is it? 100. If you watch the gradient tutorials, this will look kind of familiar. When we created that gradient, we did a create lookup table. This is doing the same thing. We're creating the curve from these three keyframes we added, and then once that's created, we can actually read the values from the curve. All right, so run it, and there we go. We did it. First try. Well, first try with one bug. All right. We created a keyframe here, a keyframe here, and a keyframe here, and we smoothly interpolated it. All right, cool. Yes. So we just explored not only drawing meta files with the drawing object, but using the keyframe class to draw to interpolate x and y values along a curve. Okay, boy, that was a little more involved than some of our tutorials, but I think it was worthwhile. And there are, of course, more things we can do with keyframes. We can do management things like moving them and deleting them, finding out if a particular time is contains a keyframe. We can find out how many keyframes we've added, and we can make this either a linear interpolation or a smooth Catmull-Rom interpolation, and there are other things. Use saturation. That uses saturation math on the interpolated values. I'm not sure even where to go with that one. All right, and of course you can clear the keyframes that you've created, that kind of stuff. So that's the keyframing class. Hope that's been clear enough. I hope I've explained how that's actually working. basically just like we did with gradients, we added, instead of adding a gradient stop, we added a keyframe. The parameter of that keyframe